The UK is about to launch one of the most aggressive online censorship regimes in the Western world. Under the Online Safety Act, platforms must remove illegal content swiftly, conduct risk assessments, and expand moderation efforts. Failure to comply? Fines of up to 10% of global revenue or $18 million, whichever is higher. Regulators claim this will make the internet safer, but critics argue it hands the UK government unchecked power over online speech. With Ofcom now leading the enforcement efforts, the question is clear. Is this about safety or control? What does the Online Safety Act actually do? The UK government has framed this law as a way to protect users from harmful content. But what does it actually enforce? Massive expansion of content moderation. Social media companies, search engines, and messaging apps must remove illegal content quickly. This includes posts related to hate speech, misinformation, and harmful but legal content. Companies must proactively monitor content, meaning automated censorship tools will become the norm. Severe financial and legal penalties. Companies that fail to act face fines of up to 10% of global revenue, which, for big tech, means billions of pounds. Executives at non-compliant companies could face criminal charges. Ofcom has declared, any provider who fails can expect the full force of enforcement. Government-controlled speech regulation. The government and Ofcom will decide what content is dangerous. Once something is classified as illegal, platforms must remove it immediately, even if it's just an accusation. End-to-end encryption, like WhatsApp and Signal, may be compromised as platforms are forced to scan private messages for harmful content. This isn't just regulation. It's full-blown government oversight of online speech. Who gets hit first? Ofcom has stated that enforcement will first target the biggest platforms before moving to smaller sites. This means companies like Facebook, Meta, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Google, TikTok, WhatsApp, and Telegram. These platforms must comply immediately or face massive fines. The real question? What happens when compliance means silencing legitimate debate? Critics, this is a massive power grab. Not everyone is convinced that this law is about safety. Critics argue that the Online Safety Act is a tool for mass censorship, disguised as regulation. The definition of harm is too broad. The law allows the government to target content it deems harmful, even if it isn't illegal. This means speech that challenges government policies, mainstream narratives, or controversial topics could be suppressed. Freedom of speech is at risk. Platforms may over-censor content to avoid legal trouble, meaning legitimate opinions, satire, and political debate could be removed. If AI algorithms are used to moderate speech, expect an increase in wrongful bans and shadow banning. Encrypted messaging apps may be forced to weaken security. The UK government has hinted at forcing platforms like WhatsApp to scan messages for illegal content. This could compromise encryption, meaning private conversations may no longer be truly private. Signal has already threatened to exit the UK rather than comply. Big tech's dilemma: comply or fight. For companies like Meta, Google, and X, this law presents a serious problem. Comply and risk losing users. If platforms follow the UK's strict rules, users may flee to platforms with less censorship. Heavy moderation means more users falsely banned or restricted. Resist and face fines. Some companies may refuse to comply, risking fines in the billions. If enough major platforms resist, the UK government may face a legal battle. Exit the UK? Some companies, like Signal, have already suggested pulling out of the UK if forced to weaken security. If big platforms like WhatsApp or Telegram do the same, it could backfire on the UK government. What happens next? With the law going into effect next week, here's what to expect. Massive over-censorship. Platforms will likely over-police content to avoid penalties. Controversial discussions on politics, COVID-19, elections, and more may get flagged or removed. Legal challenges. Big tech may fight back in court, arguing that the law is too vague and restricts free speech. Human rights organizations may also challenge the UK government on censorship grounds. Impact on independent media. Smaller platforms and alternative news sites may be hit hardest, as they lack the resources to fight enforcement. This could lead to fewer independent voices online. Will users push back? If users start seeing their posts removed for no reason, expect backlash. People may migrate to alternative platforms with less government oversight. Final thoughts. Is this really about safety? The UK government says the Online Safety Act is about protecting users. But the reality? This is the largest expansion of online speech regulation in UK history. With Ofcom gaining sweeping powers, the future of free expression in the UK is now in serious jeopardy. So what do you think? Is this law necessary to stop harmful content? Or is it just another excuse for mass censorship? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the biggest issues shaping our world.